Okay guys, advanced is not necessarily about more exercises or harder exercises. Advanced is about moving away from pre-programmed random variation and mindless weightlifting towards strategic exercise combining and skilled, controlled, mindful performance. Of the many factors you can manipulate as you advance, we're going to single out 3 keys to ensure optimum stimulation to these specific muscles. Number 1, strategically manipulating shoulder position. Why? Because this alters the function of many of the upper arm muscles. Number 2, strategically manipulating the resistance profile. Now, a resistance profile is basically where in the range of motion that the exercise is harder or easier. And this is based upon the relationship between the weight and the joint. And I'll show you more about what I mean later. Number 3, strategically manipulating the degree of effort. Now this includes learning when to stop a set and how hard to push towards fatigue, as well as what your technique or form should look like at that point. This also includes fully optimizing the 4-step rep. Now let's get Josh and take a look at how to put these principles into practice. So we're going to look at strategically manipulating that shoulder position we talked about. Well, here's the thing. If you watched all of the exercises, and you should have, if you watched all the exercises that we offered instruction for, you saw some very specific things. You saw a lot of exercises in this shoulder position, right? We saw a lot of exercises in this shoulder position. This doesn't look familiar? This was our concentration curl. This was our preacher curl. It was all the ones in the shoulder flexed position, we're going to call it. And we even had some exercises in, what was the other position? An extended position. There are at least 3 variations right there of shoulder position. As I recall, if you remember, we even talked about one that went from here, even though it was by your side instead of here, it was out here. What does this matter? You see these muscles, the biceps, cross the shoulder. What does that mean? Well, anatomically, they are affected by shoulder position. One part of the tricep is affected by shoulder position. So if you want to truly vary things, we need to strategically alter the shoulder position to affect them. Now, what does strategic mean? Well, not haphazard. I don't know how many magazines I've seen where they basically say, here's a standing curl, now your next variation is a seated curl. But did anything change? Nothing changed. Well, we're going to make sure that if you do one exercise in one shoulder position, your next choice of exercise, let's say you do 2 sets here, the next 2 sets you do should be in a different shoulder position, either back here on the incline or forward in the shoulder flex. So let's take a look. Josh, grab just one dumbbell there. And let's stand right here in the middle, or sit if you want to, and do that concentration curl where you're just letting the weight hang. All right, so you're bent forward. He's letting the weight hang. He's using that 4-step rep and lots of control. Shoulder flexed position. Okay, so just get this picture in your head, because we're not going to do it like a workout. I'm just going to show you the examples here. And now, after he does a couple sets of this, he hops up. What would be the next thing we'd want to do? Well, here's what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't come back here and do this exercise necessarily. You could, but it's the same shoulder flex position. There's something different, but we'll look at that in a minute. The thing that might be cool is if he came and sat down here on his incline bench and went to a shoulder extension position. Now see, when I said before exercise combining, that's what I mean. He combines a complementary, meaning something that completes everything. This shoulder position completes the other shoulder position. It's the opposite. Putting them together completes everything. That's what I meant by combining it. So that's a great choice of 2 exercises to put together. If he chose to do a 3rd exercise on this given day, he might choose yet another shoulder position like one of them, just with his arm by his side. So that's what I mean by that whole concept. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you all the possible combinations? No, this is what I mean by advanced. You now have an unlimited opportunity to create variation by manipulating shoulder position and being strategic in your workout program. And if you truly are advanced and you truly want to get success out of this thing, you will take the time and plan these things out, and nothing will be haphazard, and you will receive the benefit of that. Now, number 2 was strategically altering resistance profile. Now, watch this. Remember that concentration curl? Show us one more time, would you? Where is this harder and where is it easier? Well, right here is the hardest part. Because you know anytime I hold a weight straight out, that's a lot harder to hold a weight here than to hold a weight here. You know that. So at the bottom, go back down to the bottom for me for 1 second, Josh. That's the easy part. That part of the range is the easy part. Up here where he's bent 90 degrees, that's the hard part. We'll come back here and look. When he gets on this preacher curl, it's the same shoulder flex position, so that is not the variable. The variable that's here, the thing that's different is, and if he does it right, he's not wallering around, he remembers his technique. But watch, this time, this is where it's the hardest. Not where he's bent 90 degrees, but where he's at about, 30 degrees. Why? Because of his new position in space. His upper arm is not vertical anymore. His upper arm is at an angle. And watch this. What was the position that was the toughest a minute ago? 90 degrees of flexion right here. Now when he's at 90 degrees of flexion, he gets close to being balanced. It's one of the easiest positions. So this is close to being exactly opposite from each other in terms of where the exercise is easy and where the exercise is hard. What does this mean to you? This means that you could actually, if you chose to do the first set of the concentration curl like we did standing up over here, your second set of the concentration curl, same shoulder position in essence, could be over here where you're fatiguing at a different point in the range. This is truly advanced strategy. And there's tons of ways to manipulate this. Even on the standing curl, show them this one, Josh. The standing curl, just put it in that right arm so they can see the change we're going to make over here. The standing curl with the arm by the side has a very specific resistance profile. And where it's difficult, most difficult, is right here. And when he gets all the way to the top, it's still pretty tough because the weight's not balanced over his elbow. But as he gets tired, or for the next exercise, he might choose the one where, remember the one where we brought our arm forward a little bit? Now it's going to have a different resistance profile because as he gets to the top, it comes closer to being balanced. And if he even wanted to progress it a little further as he gets tired, he might strategically stop, move it out a little further, and now his very last rep, he might hold it out here the whole time. And when he gets to the top where it's really tough, there's virtually no resistance because it's balanced over his elbow. So that's strategically manipulating resistance profile. And now the final thing is going to be manipulating the degree of effort. What do I mean by that? Well, as I mentioned before, how do you know when to stop? Because you've seen people in the gym, you've seen it where they just go along and they're just kind of talking the whole time. Yeah, I had my hair done yesterday and that kind of stuff, and they just stop because they get to 10, right? Some people stop because 10 is the last one they could do. And I want you to realize there's a whole spectrum in there that you get to choose from. On a day where you're really beat up, either because you didn't eat well, you didn't sleep well, or you just haven't recovered from the workout that you did 2 days ago or whatever, you might choose a degree of effort to where you're going, you know, I could probably do another one, but I'm going to bail out right now because I need to recover, right? That might be a good way to do that. But very many times you're going to want to push it to the nth degree of effort. You're going to push it as far as you can, and here's what I want that to look like. So Josh is over here, and let's say that this is a really challenging weight, and he's on his last reps, and the first ones are easy to make look perfect with his tremendous control and everything, and his tightening, and his squeezing, and then his cramping it at the top, not trying to lift the weight, but trying to make a big muscle, and then controlling it on the way down. But now he's on that last rep, the last one where he knows, I might not be able to get this up. Josh has two choices. Josh can do this, and he can blow it all by throwing it like that. And you know what? All that hard work of that set, it's done. You wasted it. You wasted it. Or you could do what I know he really does. As he starts to fail, if he can only get it up this high, Josh sits there and squeezes and then lets it back down with control. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't lose his form. He just puts more effort into where he is right then. And sometimes because he didn't go ahead and just bail out, he might actually go ahead and pull it out with perfect form and get to squeeze it at the top for a tremendous last effort rep. You done that before? It's the best feeling in the world. So these are three advanced things that most people, because they're going so fast and wasting so much time, they don't even know these things exist. But you can truly make unbelievable gains. Now, you're not going to change your genetic potential. You can't change who your mother and father were, I'm sorry. But everybody can make progress. The only way to see what you can make out of it, though, is to do it right. Thanks so much for watching this special DVD. Everyone here at Bowflex wants you to get the best results possible. But to do it, you need the right tools, the right technique, and the right motivation. The tools you'll find in this DVD and the owner's manual are based on sound, proven principles that have worked for decades. And hey, make sure you check out the special nutritional program we've added. Nutrition is so important for getting lean and defined. I promise that if you follow the advanced instruction we've created for you, you will eat better, work out better, and get the results you want faster.